Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be working on my sketchbook. I believe last week I ended up doing a watercolor painting video, which means that we didn't do anything in here. But I thought we'll just keep it as like a chill pencil sketching session. I think I've done one kind of recently, but since making my new OC Selwin, I thought it'd be fun to just do like a chill sketching session to see if I can almost feel him out even more. The other sessions that I've done of Selwin were more like, we've done, I guess, the inking one. I've done like planning for his design just in general. I've done like a digital piece as well as the watercolor piece, which I have next to me actually. Wait. So if you wish to see the process of this, then you can check out last week's video. So the reason why I want to use pencil today is that pencil is kind of like my comfort sketching medium or drawing medium of choice. It requires the least amount of thinking because all I need is a paper, my favorite pencil, possibly. So I always liked finding pencils that I would personally really enjoy. I think my tastes have reverted back to the most simple one you can get. So these were the ones you would use in school oftentimes, at least where I was. So it's just a normal Bic mechanical pencil, 0.5. The weight of it is just comfortable. I don't feel like the barrel or anything shakes or is hollow. It's a good weight for me, as well as the size of it, just great. So I've been using these more often. I don't know. As a kid, I think I gravitated towards something that was definitely more on the bulkier side and was more weightier and heavier. But I think that was better for my writing rather than for drawing. I think growing up also, near my parents' workplace, there was this cute Asian stationery or kawaii kind of stuff store. So I would often also buy little trinkets or little Sanrio-esque kind of pencils and stuff as a kid as well. Okay, but let's get started with sketching because like I said, pencil is my favorite and I am just going to sketch out Selwin and we'll see how it goes. So hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. So pencil I find is kind of at least for me, one of the most versatile mediums in terms of just if I want to do loose sketching or if I really want to do soft rendering or anything like that, you can kind of achieve it with the pencil. I've always done realism and stuff with a mechanical pencil, which might not be the most ideal. So if I can roughly remember what Selwin kind of looks like. I am listening to a cozy Pokemon Mystery Dungeon piano with relaxing rain. It's very rainy for the last, I think actually the entirety of July. Even end of June was very much a lot of rain. I don't even know if you can hear the sounds. You'll probably hear it more when we actually get to doing the darker lines because it's one of the things I like about doing sketching with pencil. So I sketch lightly for the most part when working with pencil, and then we can darken things up. I do think more recently I've been a little heavy-handed, which is why I haven't sketched purely with pencil recently. So as much as I like color, I think shading in general has just always been my favorite, so that's why I'm so fond of just using pencil. I think, how do I want to sketch them out? I always feel if I do the over the shoulder pose, the neck gets extremely long. But I do want Selwin to be that character that I can draw just very naturally for the most part. Because I think I talked about it a little bit when I was first designing him or talking about what I wanted from him as a character. Is that he low-key embodies a lot of my generic drawing habits or things that I favor a lot when it comes to just drawing. I was gonna have a more different approach to today's video. I was gonna do another watercolor painting video, but I decided that I'm a little bit too scared to start it, so we're gonna start it a little bit later today. Not well, a little bit like a practice run, right? At least getting some of the drawing jitters out of my body. Also, if you guys had to pick like digital versus traditional, what would you choose in terms of drawing? I know a lot of people have been gravitating towards like digital nowadays, probably because it's more available and convenient now. But I've always loved traditional art a lot. And like one reason I don't do as much traditional art is because I've been doing more digital art. But I know that if I had to and it came down to it, I would love to do traditional art a lot more. Just because I enjoy the process so much. So we kind of have like our basic sketch of Selwin. I don't remember if I really missed anything other than like, you know, because he's not front facing, he doesn't have certain like design portions of his clothing. This is kind of this backside. I also think I want to give him slightly more of a wider build. Kind of like darken and or shade. Spruce it up. Now this pencil I am not entirely used to. I don't know if it's the lead that it came with or because I'm sketching on this sticker paper. So I'm not getting as sharp or dark as I would like my lines to be. So in a weird way, if you think about like how I work digitally, this is kind of like the rendering portion and cleaning up phase. Because I'm picking like a lot of the corners to darken up, or like I'm darkening up some of these, just the lines. But the only difference is that the shading is going to be similar to like when I'm doing the coloring portion, which I usually do before I do rendering. I need to turn off my ringer. I feel like for pencil, the glare is always so bad. Doesn't really look like himself. I don't know if it's because the bridge of the nose is bothering me. I'm gonna switch pencils very briefly to see whether or not it's actually the pencil that I'm disliking. So I'm gonna erase his nose. There's like some things I don't like what this is looking like. Part of it is gonna be maybe the type of lead, because I can make really dark lines like right away, which makes me feel like if I do this. Okay, I'm gonna change the face. We're gonna see if me changing the lead on this helps a little bit. Yeah, it's just the lead that I did not like. Which is strange, because sometimes I just use whatever lead comes with the pencil, you know, because I just bought this one. But then every subsequent time I've changed lead for any of my mechanical pencils, especially like for 0.5, I've been basically using the same one for so long. Also, let me show you the lead, because it's honestly just like a generic brand, I believe. Because I have a bunch of old ones. So I have these ones, as well as these ones, I think. Yeah. These ones just ran out. I do have like, I think 2 more of these and like 2 more of these ones. So I just use whatever HB ones that I currently have because I can just reuse them. Or not reuse them, I need to finish using them. Kind of see it near the end though, because I will definitely check whether or not I want to really push the values a lot for his hair, especially because his hair is supposed to be more like dark blue, almost like black adjacent. I know some people don't like working with pencil because it's messy. I can kind of see where like my smudging is, but I don't really mind. One, wash your hands like after if you're gonna require your hands to touch other things. Or keep like a piece of paper down while you're sketching so you don't have to run into that issue as often. So how long does it take for you guys to get used to a character? Drawing a character, I guess. Either for like fan art or for like your own OCs. Because I definitely think that if I don't sketch them for quite a while, I do forget some things. His hairstyle. I've always liked this look for some reason for like drawings. I feel like on real life, or like in real life, mullets are not as something that I like a lot, except for like on Ming Hao in in 17. I don't know if it's because his hair is more like ruffly. It was more stylized in terms of like his bangs. Like a lot of his part of his hair was quite long. But I think his suit the mullet the best. Same with S Coops, I think. His was pretty good too, I think. I feel like I didn't really get his hair shape down entirely correctly, which means that's something I can try to fix up for the next sketch or two. The funny thing is like layering of his two kind of sweaters, because we have like our chunkier-ish cardigan as well as our like a smaller, lighter sweater. But when shading, just like with pencil, I ever do more of like a hatching, kind of going more or less in one direction, and then a combination of like circular scribbling motions if I need to like build up value. Another thing I didn't really talk about in terms of my favorite pencils that I use, which are pretty basic. But it's the fact that I like having a kneaded eraser as kind of like my eraser of choice, rather than whatever eraser the pencil tends to come with. I don't think this one comes with one. Does this even come off? Yeah, this one doesn't come with an eraser, but this is where you would load in like your extra lead and stuff. Okay, here's kind of like a little rough draft. I don't think I got his hair shape kind of correct. I think his hair is supposed to flare out slightly more and then taper in even more than how I have it. So I propped my sketchbook up on one of my pencil cases. One, it's a little bit better of an angle for me, and hopefully it doesn't catch as much glare as it would as if it was laying down because of my lights. I'm trying to think, do I put his face here or put his face here? So we can kind of let his hands and stuff go this way, because I think what I want is him playing with his sleeves. So one thing I was thinking is whether or not I want to catch Selwin up with the rest of my OCs in terms of like what I have done for them already, like the Pokemon chibi little drawing of their Pokemon companions along with him, alongside with like an emote or two, or like sticker chibi headshot reaction things that I did like a while ago as well. I'm trying to think what Pokemon he would have, because I think he would be a little bit less like type themed and more geared towards whatever fits like his actual general aesthetic. I think I'm supposed to give him like longer cuffs, I think, for his sleeves. That's okay. Because I did say that because he's low-key like a revamp of my other actual OC of Selwyn when I first made Selwyn's first design based off of my friend's little P Crew thing and her like fantasy high school story. He had like a little companion, because you're supposed to pick like an animal familiar or companion for your character. So I chose a little seal, which is low-key like the reason I picked his name to be Selwyn. So I feel like giving him Seal, Dugong, or Spiel could be cute. It's looking a little messy. Yeah, I think I'm messing up what his hair. Maybe I should take a reference photo of what he looks like. Yeah, I'm forgetting that little swoop of his hair. But this is kind of what I meant, that I was kind of being more heavy-handed recently when I was sketching with pencil. But luckily, because Selwyn's hair is on the darker side, as soon as we start to add in some shading and blocking some stuff in, it does become a little bit more, at least cleaner looking. So hopefully the more I draw him, he'll look a little bit less out of character. Because like I said, I ended up not drawing even his hair remotely correct. I'll do more like a full front face-on version as well, because I think I need a refresher on how to draw him just like generically from the front. I don't know if this is like something you guys are like super conscious about. If you're drawing in public, do you like welcome strangers and other people to like take a look at your stuff, or do you kind of like low-key hide it if you're drawing in public? Because I remember like at the time when I used to do like study sessions with my friends, I would finish a little bit earlier because like I was in a more of like an arts degree, so like I would only have a few courses that I would actually have to finish any like papers and writing stuff, while my friends had a little bit more of like writing forward or homework forward kind of projects. Like some of mine were like more like design courses and all that stuff, so I would either finish them within like the studio and stuff or during off time. But whenever I drew in public to pass the time because my friends were studying, I feel like I always try to hide my stuff. Or like I would purposefully only do like realism. So in a way, I guess maybe I was like embarrassed that I did more like anime style artwork. I don't think I care as much now, but definitely at the time. Okay, kind of fixed him up a little bit, so it kind of looks like himself again, I hope. Not entirely, because the roundness of his head I think is not technically correct. So this pencil is driving me mad a little bit. This one extends lead so easily, especially if you're pointing downwards like this, because it basically released the entire thing. Because sometimes I let the lead come out a little bit and I stop it with my thumb to let it kind of like catch itself, so it's at like a very specific length. Because I don't want to accidentally snap it if I'm pressing too hard, but I also don't like when it's too short. I only bridged the gap a little bit, but hopefully that will lend itself a little bit in terms of keeping the page looking a little bit more cohesive. Because I don't really like keeping my pages super separate unless like I have a very deliberate purpose, like maybe I did my sketches here so I could do a finished piece here. But even then, sometimes I let the finished piece kind of like bleed over. Oh, I also have not decided, because I haven't done like a full digital piece of him quite yet. That's like a finished full render piece. I still don't know how I want his sweater to be. I think I want to keep the very simple... Is it one line? Yes, it's 2 lines for our horizontals. And then just kind of like one singular line for our patterning, just to keep it very generic, but not like entirely looking like plaid. Let's do another like kind of like larger fun pose so that I can play around with his outfit. It doesn't even have to be a fun pose. I just want something that's a little bit more full body-ish, or at least like half body. Because one thing I like to do, if I can, is kind of play around with the levels of my doodles. So like we have something larger, maybe a headshot that's like squished in. We could do like a small doodle down here, like a full body or a half body here, and then like 2 headshots. The types of sketches I guess I'm doing. Because if I did like full body, full body, full body, full body, full body, that's cool. But like for sketches and stuff that feels more like cohesively, like doodles kind of flowing all the way into one another, I do like just to vary the types if I can. Otherwise, like I would do headshot, headshot, headshot. I feel like there's something stuck in my eye. Do I just sketch mindlessly to see where it'll take me, or should I actually plan something? I can kind of shorthand this one maybe for his eyes. Keep it simple. For his, like, I know for like my simple or more derpier eye style, when I shorthand my characters. I always put the pupil in the center, but I've always liked how I did his initial sketches with kind of like the blue mechanical pencil lead, where I put the highlight at the very bottom. I didn't really finish that thought. If you guys have specific Pokemon you think that would suit Selwin, do let me know. Because maybe if I have time, I will do like a very quick chibi of him. Full colored, so you can kind of see his entire color palette a little bit more easily. There's an artist that I really liked when I was younger though. They drew kind of like in the softer style like this, but they drew like more Pokemon illustrations, I believe. Maybe him leaning forward. I should have tilted his head a little bit. I already really like how I did his eyes very simply, so I don't want to screw this up too badly. Also, sketching on the sticker paper definitely feels different than sketching on this like actual notebook paper. This notebook paper, I know it's like really thin, but it's super smooth, and I really like how pencil glides on it. So it's just like a very much like a personal preference. So yeah, this is kind of what I mean by like what his hair shape is kind of supposed to look like. Less of like completely round dome. Kind of starts off like more from one side and then flares out, comes out a little bit more at the very bottom. Kind of jellyfish-ish, but not like super intense. Give him his glasses. Also, by the time I finished recording this video, or like the same day, I think I finished up the last little submissions I had for Art Fight. So I'm going on a trip very soon, so I won't be able to actually finish any more drawings at that time. So apologies that I wasn't able to do as many like revenges or anything like that. As some people have expressed, and someone suggested the idea as well, is that I'll do like a recap of all my Art Fight submissions alongside with looking at your defenses on like a live stream, because I think that'd be a great way to like kind of, what is it called? Should bend his arm because he's not looking so relaxed. He looks like he almost is a little bit too uptight in terms of the pose. So I think I want him sitting for a sitting pose per se, unless this be where your knee is. I hate drawing foreshortened knees. His hand like this. I think, yeah, larger cuffs or like longer and like a little bit thinner. But back to the thing about Art Fight is that, yeah, I will do like a recap stream or something of that sort. We'll look at your defenses because I do want to appreciate your guys' artwork of my OCs a lot more as well. I also mentioned that I wanted to give him slightly droopier eyes. I didn't really do that for these ones. This one has it a little bit. I forgot if I talked about this though. So there is fan art that I want to do eventually. I think the more I play the story, I'll end up doing fan art, but it's of Fantasy Life. Because I did end up making Selwin my Fantasy Life character, but this is before I gave him this revamp and kind of like switch over to this new Selwin character. But I went back and went to like my little base camp or whatever you want to call it and changed his look ever so slightly so that he matches this Selwin a little bit. Because I forget what eye type I gave him. It was either like the sleepier looking eyes or something else, but then that or I switched to the sleepier eyes, but darken his hair up definitely, but we'll just kind of figure out the shape of it first before I start to darken it all up so that I don't accidentally lose any of the lines that I think is contributing to, whoa, the shape of his hair. I don't know why this came off so easily. I think if your character's hair resembles an apple, I think it looks very cute. And I think it's because I like little ticks or like ahoge messy hair. Kind of gives it like that little apple look. And this sketchbook has been, it's been here for too long. Because I feel like I haven't been able to put like my full focus on something completely. There's always something that I always have to worry about in the back of my brain. And then sometimes it comes up so suddenly that I can't really take account for it. Imagine if this was his hand. It'll remind me of my watercolor painting. Because his hand is too large in that one. I don't really know if I have a specific theme for Selwin anymore. I know initially I was liking the star motif, or I don't know if I wanted to go with constellations per se, but like sparkle star, but I feel like with his color scheme changing a lot more than what I was initially going to plan him to have, I don't know if it still fits. I do like the combination that I ended up with, and I think I am going to stick with it. I know I gravitate towards more like cooler tones or like blue that I use for like my VTuber and stuff, or even like my logo. It's always leaning towards that blue-green-ish kind of combination. But I think having Selwin have a different kind of color combination that I don't really have is just nice. Okay. Let's try to shade all this in at least with one pass of shadow. I'll leave a little bit for highlight here. But because this is supposed to be more of a darker color, I'm going to try to push our clothing folds and shadows to be a lot darker, but also keeping the base kind of on the darker side. And then we'll put a little bit of shading for our later cardigan, because I do want to add stripes still. I don't think I'm going to add a stripe to his, what do you want to call it? The ribbing of his cardigan sweater. Would Clobbopus fit him? Kind of similar-ish colors in a sense. I love Clobbopus so much. It's such a, like a silly, it's just a silly character or like creature. I think it's also in the sketchbook. I kind of hope it's not, considering how old the sketchbook feels. Is the Clobbopus Kaisen doodle in here? Yeah, maybe it's not in here. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe the sketchbook isn't as old as I think it is. Oh, it is. Dang! Okay, but this Pokemon. I love this Pokemon so much. He's so cute. He's like a little bit like a wimpy, a little boxer squid, but I think he has like similar colors to Selwyn. I think the sweet boy would raise him well. Because even like Gibble might fit his aesthetic in terms of color scheme. Is that silly? But you can kind of see, like, if you start from like one side and start moving along, it kind of forces you in a certain direction. Like, I could either do like a really tiny full body type thing to fit here. I could do like a really large face. I could do another half body, a larger chibi. But I'm kind of confined to the space a little bit. So his pants are not super special. My friend said, like, maybe I should add a gradient to his design. I'm kind of debating it. There was, like, a character that I drew on Art Fight that had a gradient for their sleeves. Now, I don't think I'm going to add it to the sleeves. Maybe to the pants or even, like, this inside sweater. I like the sketchiness of pencil a lot more than like seeing clean sketches. It looks like a Yakult bottle in a way. Like the yogurt drink. Okay, here's another doodle. So we'll do, I think we can do 2 more. So like one here, and then one to fill out the bottom. That, or I'll put like text or something on the bottom. I have an idea. I just don't know how I want to draw his face. Oh, I also don't know if I'll do this week or next week. I have spoilers. I have this illustration of Arakan that I want to do with like this kind of like a whiskey cup overflowing with golden flowers. I think it'll look super pretty. Maybe I'll draw it tonight so I can have it done for Saturday. We'll see. I'm trying to think, how do I... Maybe it's this way that would work, so his shoulder would be... Because I kind of want him to be holding his cardigan, so this would be like his hand. Oh, I don't think I can show this either, but there was like something I was working on that required me to do so much like planning for poses in here, so I have like a bunch of like sticky notes. I'm probably gonna work on that while I'm gone, because I'll have like very little downtime, kind of. Well, I think I'm gonna sketch on the plane as much as I can. I think it's because I designed his hair mostly thinking about it, what it looks like coming from the front. So every time he's front facing, it's very easy for me to figure out what his hair would look like, which is not a good thing. So it just means that I have to draw him more not front facing so we can finally flesh this out completely. Still has a sweater, but it's kind of like a thinner one. Kind of fits up the space in a nice way. Let's see if we can flush him out a little bit. Do you ever guys like... This might be a weird thing to admit. I like watching like reunion video type stuff. Part of it because it makes my heart ache. It's not weird. I feel like I'm very easily susceptible to like crying from happiness rather than crying from sadness. I cry probably the most from like cheerful moments, like other people having like very cheerful moments. That, or like being frustrated with somebody. I'm like the type that cries when arguing low-key. I was watching all these like adoption story, finding birth parent type stories. I think this is why I like angst in a way too. I like things that pull at your heartstrings. He looks entirely different. It's probably still the way that I've drawn his hair. That's another thing I keep watching, and I still get like a lot of recommendations on my Pinterest. Is either flowers, I think sky photos now, because I've been looking up like different ways to like portray clouds, as well as nail art. I still get a lot of nail art suggestions, and I kind of want to do my nails, but like with the trip coming up, I don't think it's appropriate to have any kind of like fun colored nails, so maybe I'll do it when I get back. Kind of like a massive hand again, but let's do one more doodle. And I've kind of drawn Selwin as a chibi very briefly to knock out some color choices or like outfit design. kind of similar. I'm not going to give him the same derp eyes per se. He will be pretty much the only exception. Because I don't know why this kind of like lighter, almost blank stare fits him more. Maybe because it's associated with the first drawing that I did of him. Make it look like he's calling out to you. Yeah, I'll do like a quick chibi at the end of the video. Maybe if I remember to, what is it called? Record the time-lapse on Clip Studio Paint. Then I'll show like the footage. If not, if I forget, because I almost never turn it on. And then we're gonna draw his hair correctly. So let's always draw one side too large. These look like, what is it called? Prongs? Like plugins? How I drawn them? I'll do like, definitely do like a simple version of him. Probably in the simple chibi style so that I can just do cell shading so that his colors are not muddied up. I don't know if it's because of lack of eyebrows, but he's looking a little funky. He looks so silly. So I didn't give really a proper shape to his hair because I kept changing it. Okay, I think that's it for the sketching session. So what I'm gonna do is zoom out for you guys so you can kind of see the full spread. I lied. Let's do a close-up of the sketches first, and then we'll do like a zoomed out version. Can't really give him hands. This one. This one's definitely my favorite sketch, but here are the sketches. Like I said, this one's kind of my favorite, even though like I didn't really finish where his legs were, because I wasn't too sure if he was gonna be like fully standing or if he was gonna be sitting. So now his arm looks a little short because I did end up kind of changing it. I still think it looks kind of like a Yakult bottle. Whatever. But here's Selwin. I always forget the date, the end of my sketching sessions. I usually do this, yeah, day, month, year. And this is kind of what our overall spread kind of looks like. I could add a color, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. So I have been drawing Selwin quite a bit. So we have this one. This was from like during, I think this was not recorded. So I did this kind of as like a test sample for figuring out his colors. We did this one for a different sketchbook session, I think from 2 weeks ago. So playing around with screen tones. And then this was more like testing of colors and like the first initial sketch of him that I did. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I will watercolor for the rest of today because I will be working on this because I think it could be fun to do like a digital and a traditional version. We'll see how this goes. This might not even see the light of day though. And hopefully you guys enjoyed today's little sketching session, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!